everybody, it's April from Banana Moon Studio, and I am going to be working with you today on learning to read written crochet patterns. This free pattern of mine is called Gardens Galore Garland. It's a floral garland you can use for decorating. And this pattern is made of 5 small motifs that then you attach with a long chain. I've already made videos helping people learn to read written crochet patterns with showing how to make this small heart motif, the ring, the circle, the 6-petal flower. Today we're going to do a video about how to follow the written pattern to make this 8-petal flower. So let's dive right in. All right, so first thing it says is make an adjustable ring. So the way we do that, take your end of your yarn and you're going to wrap it around your fingers, your 2 fingers here. Then pull that loop off, place your hook through it, and then I like to pull it tight a little bit. Okay, and then you will pull through your adjustable ring and then chain 1. All right, so that chain 1 locks your ring closed. All right, the next thing it says is chain 1, which the chain 1 I just did to close this adjustable ring is going to count as that chain 1. So you won't need to chain 1 again. Then 8 SC in ring. That means 8 single crochet in this ring. So let's do that. I'm going to hold the tail and the loop together and crochet over both of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Pull some yarn out of my skein here. All right, the next thing that this tells me to do is pull tail to tighten just enough to close, leaving a small hole in the middle. All right, so I'm going to pull this tail here, and I'm going to close up the center, but I don't want to pull it very tight. I actually want to leave just a little bit of a hole. Okay? And then the next thing it says is join to first ST with SLST. That means join to first stitch with slip stitch. And then I should have 8 stitches total in this round. So I need to find my first stitch because that's where I need to put my hook back. If you are not sure where that is, we can count backwards from this stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's this right here. I'll go under both of those loops and then slip stitching by pulling through here and here. All right, it helps when you're doing this to have a hook that is nice and pointy on the top. If yours is very rounded on top, you may find it difficult to get into that stitch, so I suggest you look for one that is more pointed on the top. Okay, so then it had this at the end of each round. It had, well, not the end of every round. So the thing is, when you are looking at patterns, not necessarily every round will give you a stitch count. Usually you'll have a stitch count anywhere that the number of stitches changed from the previous round. I apparently did not do that in this pattern on these 2 rows, so I'm going to fix that after I finish this video. But Anyhow, so this dash and then a number of stitches, that means 8 stitches. So that's just telling me how many stitches I have here, which I already counted them, so I know that there are 8. Okay, and then this says CH1. That means chain 1. So we'll do that. And then the next thing, we have in parentheses here, SC, comma, CH2, and then outside the parentheses in each stitch around. So let's discuss what that means a little bit. The SC stands for single crochet. The CH stands for chain. So this says single crochet, chain 2 in each stitch around. The reason this is in parentheses is because there's a group of things that needs to be done in each in each stitch. And so we put parentheses around that group so we know that it all goes together. Everything inside the parentheses goes in every stitch around. All right, so what that's going to look like, then it said single crochet, chain 2. So the first stitch in this round is this one. It's the same one that I put my joining stitch in. So I'm just going to go back in here, same place, single crochet, chain 2. And then to the next stitch, which is here, I will single crochet and chain 2. So I'm going to be doing that around. You may wonder, if you're fairly new to crochet, how can I tell where the next stitch is? Well, it is a little challenging, and it's something that gets easier with practice. But you can see this hole right here that's kind of big. That's where I just put my stitch, and you can tell because it's being pulled open by the stitches that I just made. So I'm not going to place it here. What I need to look for is the next stitch, which is right here. So I will single crochet here and chain 2. And I'll just keep doing that in each stitch all the way around. Okay, I've done my chain 2, and I think I'm finished now. I'm going to count my chain loops to be sure. First, I have to count this one that I just made, even though I haven't quite completed it yet. But here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 of them. Now you may be wondering, isn't this a stitch right here? This is actually the joining slip stitch that I did at the end of the previous round, so I'm not going to single crochet into there. What this tells me, after I finish doing that set of instructions, in each stitch around I'm going to join to the first stitch with a slip stitch. So my first stitch is this right here. So I will put my hook in there and slip stitch. Okay, so as I said, well, actually here, I do still have 8 stitches, and I guess that's probably why I didn't update the stitch count, but I also have those 8 chain 2 loops, which I already counted, but you can go back and count yours if you want to be sure. Okay, so my round 3 says SLST, that means slip stitch. We are right here. SLST in first chain space. Okay, so I'm going to slip stitch in the first chain space. My first chain space is right here. So slip stitch means I'm just going to pull the yarn through that space and through this loop. And next I have CH, means chain, chain 1. And then in parentheses I have SCCH3. That means single crochet, chain 3 in each chain space around. Okay, so again, this group of things is in parentheses because I'm going to do everything in the parentheses in each of these chain spaces. All right, so that is what we'll do next. Single crochet, chain 3 in each chain space. All right, so here I single crochet in this first chain space, and then I'll chain 3. And the next chain space is right here. And single crochet here. All right, and there's my last single crochet. Here's my last chain 3. And again, I still have only 8 stitches. And again, you know, I messed up earlier saying, oh, I need to fix this. I still only have 8 stitches, and that's why the stitch count isn't updated here. Okay, but I also have 8 chain loops, and so I'm going to count those. I still have this one I haven't closed yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that helps me know I've got things right. So now the final thing that it says is join to first stitch with slip stitch. So my first stitch is right here, and I will slip stitch in it to close my circle. All right, so there's what I have at the end of round 3. Round 4 is the final round. It's right here. We start with CH, which means chain 1. And then in parentheses, we have several things now. We have SC, HDC, DC, CH1, DC, HDC, SC in each chain space around. So you may wonder, how do I know what these abbreviations mean? Well, I know that from a lot of practice. On my website, I have a list of abbreviations that you can get that will tell you what all of these abbreviations mean. With enough practice, you'll know what those abbreviations mean and you won't need to look them up. But if you need that abbreviation list, look in the description for this video and I will have the link in there for where you can find that abbreviation list, as well as the direct link to this free pattern. Okay, so anyway, that was an aside. SC means single crochet. This is half double crochet. This is double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, half double crochet, single crochet. And we're going to do that whole group, that's why it's in parentheses, that whole group of stitches in each chain space around. Okay, so let's see how that looks. We start with, okay, we already did our chain 1, so now we're going to work in our first chain space, which is here, single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, and then we have chain 1, and then we're going to go in reverse order. Double crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet. All right, so what I'm making here is a little petal. I have short stitches on the outside and taller stitches in the middle. So now I'm going to do that same group of stitches in every chain space. So single crochet, we start by placing our hook in here, pull through the chain space, pull through both loops. Now for the half double crochet, I yarn over, place my hook in the chain space, pull through the chain space, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. Half double crochet, I yarn over, I insert my hook in the chain space, pull yarn through the chain space, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and pull through 2 loops. I'm going to chain 1 here, and then I'm going to do my stitches again in reverse order with double crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet. And I'll repeat that in each chain space around. Okay, so now I have completed 8 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And my pattern says join to first stitch with slip stitch. Okay, so it's the same thing I've done at the end of each round. I am kind of looking here to make sure I know where to put it. This is my double crochet, my half double crochet, my single crochet is right there. So that's my first stitch. I will join there. And it says I should have 48 stitches. So I know I put 6 stitches in each petal, and 6 times 8 is 48. But if you want to be confident, you can count all of the stitches around here and make sure you've got 48. And the last thing this says is fasten off. Okay, so fasten off just means I'm going to leave 6 to 8 inches here, and I'm going to cut that. And then I'm going to pull through here, all the way through, and pull that tight. So that's fastening off, and then you use a yarn needle to weave those ends in the back. If you're not sure how to do that, I've also got a video about how to finish your projects or weave in your ends. So that is my 8-petaled flower. I just want to say, in case you're wondering, this is Ancient Arts Yarn Nettle Soft DK that I'm using in their colorway Nothing But Blue Skies. And this nice pointy hook that I have here is from Brittany Needles and Hooks. It's their size H hook, both wonderful products. As always, you can find my latest patterns, tutorials, and reviews at bananamoonstudio.com. There are additional videos in this series where I am teaching you how to read written crochet patterns. And so look for those other videos on my YouTube channel. And again, the direct link for this free pattern will be in the description for this video, as well as the direct link for the abbreviations list that I have available for you. So I hope that this is helping you. Leave me comments about what it is you want to learn, and I hope you all have a beautiful day.